As an NFL diehard, you want to know which team has the easiest or hardest schedule in 2024. It doesn't matter that it's May. Let's find a good way to calculate strength of schedule. To do this, you could consult preseason models built on data from past seasons. However, most team quantities show strong regression to the mean from season to season, and any model with power gets built primarily on pass offense. I do not use these types of models at the power rank. As an alternative, you could look at market win totals. However, these win totals depend on schedule. For example, the AFC North has two teams in Baltimore and Cincinnati that have the third and fourth best Super Bowl odds. The market win totals for a team like Pittsburgh will get depressed, not because Russell Wilson sucks, but because the Steelers have 4 games against these two contenders. At the power rank, I take market win totals and back out a rating for each team based on schedule. These ratings are consistent with the market probability to go over or under the stated win total. We'll get into the details of how this gets computed later, but the analysis points out one team in particular: the Atlanta Falcons. Atlanta has generated buzz this offseason for 2 stories. In the first story, the Falcons had to hire a new coach after parting ways with Arthur Smith after 4 seasons. Did they hire Bill Belichick, who won 6 Super Bowls with the New England Patriots? No. The Athletic reported that Atlanta passed on Belichick because he wanted too much control over the franchise. Did the Falcons hire Bobby Slovic, the offensive coordinator that performed miracles in Houston? Slovic engineered an elite pass offense with rookie quarterback C.J. Stroud and a pile of leftovers at wide receiver. Houston won a playoff game over Cleveland. Nope, Atlanta passed on Slovic after 2 interviews. The Falcons hired Raheem Morris. Was this because of his 21-38 record as a head coach in the NFL? Probably not. Was it that Morris got the most out of Aaron Donald as the defensive coordinator of the Los Angeles Rams the past 3 seasons? Maybe? According to Josh Kendall of The Athletic, Atlanta is thrilled to have Morris because he is, and I quote, well liked. Kendall also mentions that Morris is not Bill Belichick, which came as a relief to many in the Atlanta organization. In the second story, Atlanta sent shockwaves around the NFL on draft night by picking Washington quarterback Michael Penix Jr. with the 8th overall pick. While it's always a good idea to invest in a young quarterback, Atlanta had just signed quarterback Kirk Cousins to a contract worth half the GDP of Mongolia. You can almost hear Belichick's response to the pick as Atlanta's coach. This is a good pick for us. I think Matt Patricia and Joe Judge will groom him to lead an elite pass offense. Yes, Bill, because that duo did wonders for Mac Jones in 2022. However, the real story about Atlanta this offseason is the 2024 schedule. To determine strength of schedule, let's look at market win totals. Atlanta looks like a better than average team with a win total of 9.5. This means that Atlanta should win more than half of their 17 regular season games. However, we can't just look at this win total without regard for schedule. What we really want is a rating that gives how good Atlanta is compared to the rest of the NFL. This rating will be consistent with the markets and its schedule. To calculate this rating, we need 3 pieces of data. First, and most obviously, you need the market win total. For example, Atlanta will win 9.5 games out of 17 regular season games. Division opponents Tampa Bay and New Orleans will win 7.5 games, while Carolina is at the bottom of the NFL with 5.5 wins. Second, you need the price to go over or under that win total. In mid-May, FanDuel had minus 148 for Atlanta to go over 9.5 wins, which means you must bet $148 to win $100. Since you have to drop more than $100 to win $100, This implies Atlanta has a better than 50-50 chance to win more than 9.5 games. FanDuel has a price of plus 120 for Atlanta to win fewer than 9.5 games, which means you bet $100 to win $120. Yes, American odds are so dumb with these pluses and minuses. If you do a little bit of math to calculate the odds and remove the house take, the market gives a 56.8% chance that Atlanta goes over 9.5 wins in 2024. Third and last, you need the schedule for each team. Atlanta looks to have an easy schedule by virtue of playing in the NFC South. To back out the rating for each team, I start with the assumption that each NFL team is average or has a rating of 0. The code simulates the season for every team and calculates the chance that it goes over or under the stated market win total. In the first step, every team wins about half of their games. This means that there's about a 50% chance that a team wins 8 or fewer of their 17 games. For Atlanta, this implies a high likelihood to go under their market win total of 9.5 games. As the code iterates to the next step, it will raise the rating for Atlanta. My artisan code keeps iterating the ratings for the teams until it is consistent with the market data. When it converges, it gives you a rating for Atlanta with their schedule so that they win more than 9.5 games around 56.8% of the time. Usually, the resulting ratings are proportional to the market win totals. The top 3 teams in the market rankings are Kansas City, San Francisco, and Baltimore. These 3 teams have the highest market win total of 11.5. However, a team like Atlanta sticks out like a non-white male at BetBash. Despite a market win total of 9.5 games, Atlanta has a rating of 0.3 points. This means that the Falcons would be favored by 0.3 points against an average NFL team at a neutral site. Atlanta is an NFL average team. In my market rankings, Atlanta is the 16th best team with a market win total of 9.5. They are right ahead of Pittsburgh, a team with a market win total of 7.5. Schedule matters, as Pittsburgh has 2 games against division rivals Baltimore, Cincinnati, and Cleveland. These 3 teams are all ranked in the top half of the NFL. Compare this with the division rivals for Atlanta. Tampa Bay is the second best team in my market rankings at 23rd in the NFL out of 32 teams. Baker Mayfield had a really nice season in 2023 in leading Tampa Bay to a playoff win over Philadelphia. However, the markets do not like this team for the 2024 season. New Orleans is right behind Tampa Bay as the 24th best team as implied by the markets. The Saints have a strong defense and hope veteran quarterback Derek Carr can turn back the clock to his best years in Las Vegas. Carolina is by far the worst team in the NFL by my market rankings. Even though they are slated for 5.5 wins like New England and Denver, the Panthers are the worst team in the NFL by more than 2 points. Remember, Carolina has that same soft NFC South schedule. The schedule for Atlanta gets even better outside the division. The Falcons play all 4 teams from the AFC West, which implies games against 26th ranked Las Vegas and 30th ranked Denver. The AFC West also brings tough games against Kansas City and the Los Angeles Chargers. However, Atlanta gets both of these teams at home. Atlanta also plays the NFC East, and this gives them games against 28th ranked Washington and 29th ranked New York Giants. They get Dallas at home, and they finally have a tough road game at Philadelphia. Does Atlanta's roster justify an NFL average rating? Kirk Cousins gives them an upgrade at quarterback over Desmond Ridder and Taylor Heineke from last season. By my quarterback metrics at the power rank, Cousins has been a touch above NFL average each of the past 3 seasons. He missed half of last season with an Achilles injury, but has otherwise played almost every game the previous 8 seasons. Cousins won't have Justin Jefferson to throw to anymore, Instead, he will have Drake London as his primary target. In his second year in 2023, the wide receiver had 1.87 yards per route run. This is a solid but not spectacular number compared to the NFL average of 1.5 for wide receivers. Cousins will also have tight end Kyle Pitts, the 4th overall pick in the 2021 NFL Draft. After coming into the league with huge expectations, Pitts has had a lower yards per route run in each of 3 NFL seasons. However, his 1.43 yards per route run this past season is still better than the 1.26 NFL average for tight ends. On defense, Atlanta ranked 18th in the NFL in points allowed per game in 2023. The pass defense does have some really nice players in safety Jesse Bates III and cornerback A.J. Terrell. However, the defense also looked better because of opposing quarterbacks. Against the Jets, Atlanta faced Tim Boyle and Trevor Siemian. I'm not saying that Zach Wilson is great, but there was a significant downgrade to those two. In addition, they faced Josh Dobbs and Jaren Hall against Minnesota after Cousins went down with that Achilles injury. Overall, Atlanta looks like an NFL average team based on the roster, and that's exactly what my implied market rankings say about the Falcons. The markets might shade this team to go over 9.5 wins, but that's because of the schedule. I can calculate strength of schedules through an average rating of opponents. In this calculation, I account for home versus road games. Atlanta's opponents have a rating of minus 2.3, which is almost a point worse than the next easiest schedule. Atlanta has, by far, the easiest NFL schedule for the 2024 season. Thank you for listening to this episode of the Football Analytics Show. My name is Ed Fang, your host. In this offseason, I'm going to be continuing to explore with certain types of audio projects. I wrote a script for this one and read that script. It's a little bit different from some of the other episodes that I basically do the episode off of an outline. I hope you enjoyed this. If you did and you want to troll some of your Atlanta Falcons friends, please share this episode with them. Also a reminder, I still write my free sports betting email newsletter at thepowerrank.com. Every Saturday, I provide 5 Nugget Saturday. If you're looking for action on any given weekend, this is the free service for you. You can check that out at thepowerrank.com. That is my site for better sports betting through data and analytics. Once again, that's thepowerrank.com. Once again, my name is Ed Fang, your host for the Football Analytics Show, and I will talk to you again next week.